Hey guys, and welcome to the wonderful world of The Sims 4, where today I'm doing my first Disney build. This build is actually going to be a series, so this is the first part of maybe 4. It could just end up being 3. I'm not sure yet. It kind of depends on how long it takes me to get everything mapped out and all of the buildings done. These are going to be really small buildings, and I've used the 64 by 64 lot in Windenburg. That's what it's called. I've used the biggest lot in the game so far to do this build, simply because it's supposed to be the 100-acre wood. Obviously, we don't have anything as big as 100 acres. So the 100-acre wood would fit in on the biggest lot here in the game. The 100-acre wood is obviously from Winnie the Pooh, unless you guys never really watched Winnie the Pooh growing up. It was one of my favorites, so it's near and dear to my heart. I have mapped up kind of a layout of how I want the 100-acre wood to look, of where the houses need to go, and where parts of the woods need to go. Like there's a little area that says the floody place, and there's one that says big rocks or big stones and rocks, and there's a place that says 6 pine trees. So these are all places that I found on maps. When I just searched for the 100-acre wood map on Google, pretty much. So I've just went through and built my own, I guess, lot from what I found, just piecing some of them together. And I'm only now realizing that in my map, I did not include Tigger's house. And Tigger was not an original character from Winnie the Pooh, although he is one of the most popular. So it could be that his house just didn't show up on some of those maps. But I will have to fix it, and I will have to figure out where his house goes. So I need to make sure that I do, because I will include Tigger's house. I just now realized that it's not in here. And for some reason, I think it may be close to where the Woozle wasn't. And some of these really odd places like that, like where the Woozle wasn't and the floody place, I don't really know how I'm going to make them look yet. I guess I may use a lot of water in the floody place as much as I can without it actually being a swimming pool. Maybe add another, like a fountain or something, and some sprinklers. I don't know. I'll have to play around with it and figure something out. I will obviously video that, because that's probably going to be one of the most interesting parts of this video. As well as the houses. The actual houses have so far been pretty difficult, and you'll see where I cut off the video at the very end. I'm actually still working on Piglet's house, and the reason I stopped where I was because I was beginning to get a little tired, and it's difficult to be very inspired when you're getting tired and just trying to get things done as quickly as possible. So I just stopped there. I was like, I'm not going to ruin this really good build, this build that I'm very proud of, because I'm tired. So I just stopped. It's a little bit of an awkward place, but that'll be okay. I'll pick up right where I left off in the next video, which will be posted probably a few days after this one. This is the area that was called the Big Stones and Rocks place on the map. So obviously I did a lot of big stones with the water and a lot of the big rocks, and I've just sized them up so that they look a little bit bigger and so that it would go a little quicker as far as actually putting them all together. And this part did take a little while, and you'll see me skip around, as you can see just right there. It took a little while to get the greenery and the rocks around the sides of the water done. That is one of the most tedious parts of doing anything that's got a river or a lake involved. So you won't see me do a lot of that, but it was pretty necessary for this build. I'm by no means done with any of it. You can still see parts where there are no rocks, and you will see them till the end. So I'm not done adding the rocks and adding the greenery around the pool to make it look more natural. I may also change the pool color to one of either the muddy color or the swampy color. I think there's more than one, because this one just looks a little too clear. Although, it being a Disney world, it may be more realistic to have a really clear waterway, I guess. I don't know. That's something that I'll have to really think about, because I was thinking I would change it to where it actually looked like a little bit muddy, because it would be a river or a lake in a wood. But I don't know. I'll have to figure that out. Eeyore's place is also one that I'm a little bit concerned about doing, although that's not going to stop me from doing it. And that's because it's supposed to be, actually the title of it is The Rather Boggy and Sad Place. So I'm going to have to make it look really, maybe not dingy, but make it look a little bit more swampy than the rest of the area, even more so than the floody place. So I'm just going to have to go in there and figure out how to make it look really sad. I really have no ideas right now. I can come up with something, though. I will come up with something. It definitely won't stop me. As you can see, I think I saved and exited the game. I was probably adding another or making another video at this point. And like I said, I take a little break every now and then so that it doesn't get really... so that it doesn't mess up the build, I guess. If I continue at it for an hour or for more than an hour, then it begins to get sloppy. And I just start placing things just for the sake of placing them. So I don't like to do that. I like it to look good, and I like to have an idea of what I'm doing instead of just going on and doing things just so I can get a video out there. So I'm going to try not to do that. That's a big goal while I'm making videos, not to just be making them just for the sake of making them. As you can see, it's been like 5 minutes, and it's been mostly adding the greenery to this place, and I promise this will probably be one of the only videos where I do this, and that's just because it is a wood. It's supposed to be the woods. There's supposed to be a lot of trees, and there will be more trees. I am not at all finished putting all the trees up. I didn't put so many up yet just because it's difficult to build when there's so many trees on the lot already. So some of that won't be done until after the fact. And you can see here where I started adding some greenery around the creek that is close to Eeyore's house. And I may take some of those. I added a little bit of flowers and things like that, and I think I may remove those because, like I said, it's supposed to be gloomy and it's supposed to be dark. So I may add some things that are a little bit darker. I know you can probably hear that, and you usually will not hear things outside of my house. That was, I think, a motorcycle going by. And I don't know anybody around here that has a motorcycle, so that's a little strange. Anyway, though, I'm sorry about that. I try to keep the noise level to a minimum. I turn my fan off and I turn my TV off and all that good stuff. So, like I was saying, I'm going to try to remove the flowers and things like that. Oh my God, he is still going. Okay, I think they're done. Nope, I can still hear them. I'm sorry about that, guys. I usually try to do my voice narrations at the end of the day, and right now it's about 6 o'clock. Usually I would wait until maybe 10 or 11 o'clock to do this, and I didn't do that today because I have an exam and a couple other things coming up this week. Last week was pretty hectic, but this week's even more hectic, and so I really need to get those things done. So I wanted to get my videos out of the way earlier this morning. This is just Winnie the Pooh's house that we're starting here, and this was where I was testing out how I was going to do this, because Winnie the Pooh's house grows it's under a tree. It's under a living tree. So I had to just lift up a tree just by using the 9 key, and I will player test everything at the end of this. So I'm going to try to figure out, I'm going to try to make sure everything works, and it should work. If it doesn't, because the front door goes right up under where that tree is right there. If it doesn't work, then I have a couple of ideas how to fix it. So I will make sure that everything's player tested and everything's usable and everything runs the right way. Because I don't want to make a build that doesn't actually, that you can't actually use. So I'm going to make sure to go back and test everything out and make sure everything works. I really liked using these alien type roots to make it look like the tree was growing over the sides of the house. And I also made use of a lot of the vines that came in and get together that grow up, or the ivy, I guess, that grows alongside of the house. And I used a lot of shrubbery. I looked at pictures of Pooh's house, and there was it looked pretty. It didn't look overgrown exactly. There was just a lot of greenery around. So I did make use of a lot of the hanging items that include plants, um, and a lot of the get together stuff actually. A lot of the get together stuff was used within this, and I thought I would use more of the camp retreat stuff than I did, but I didn't, which was odd because that was what I was thinking would happen. I also don't know if that door is gonna work with the iron thing around it. I don't even know what that is called. It's just that iron like support structure there around the sides of it. But it looked a lot like the sign that hangs over Winnie the Pooh's door. And you'll see me here in a minute scroll. Yeah, I'm scrolling through some of the things there to see if I can actually hang something with it to make it look like there's a sign there, and nothing really looked right. So I'll take that away in just a minute. He also has a bell that hangs beside his door, and I just use that sign there to kind of represent it because we don't have a bell like that in the game. I'm sorry, you guys. I keep hitting the knob on my desk here, and I'm gonna have to take them off. I'm gonna have to get a screwdriver and actually take off the knobs on my desk just because I hit them all the time and while I'm trying to record. Anyway, though, you won't see me use probably any custom content ever. I haven't used any mods in my game. I don't use any custom content, and I probably won't. I say that now, and then I'll probably regret saying that later, because I may one day, but as for right now, I don't see any need to, just because there's so much in the game that I can use. The only things I do get a little stingy over things like like a hanging microwave, and there's a couple of other things that I can't think of right now, but I know, like, when I'm building and I think of them, I'm like, oh, yeah, we should have that. I would really like to have, I know this sounds really weird, but like laundry room items, because I think it's so unrealistic building a house that doesn't have a laundry room, and we don't have a washer and dryer to put in the laundry room, so there would be no need to do that. But it would be silly to have them in the game too. If you've seen me add the little the overhanging red and orangey looking and yellow looking flower there, that was just kind of a nod to Winnie the Pooh's actual colors. And these cookie jars here are supposed to represent his honey pots that he leaves kind of laying around everywhere. I just laid out a couple of other items there, just some clutter to make it look, more like Winnie the Pooh's house in the pictures that I was looking at. I'm actually really happy with the way Pooh's house turned out on the outside. We don't work on the inside yet, and I haven't worked on the inside yet. There probably will be a little small bathroom, and everything else will probably be like one room. There will be a little kitchen and a little living space and a little bed in there. Nothing too special. This was where I was beginning to kind of lose my inspiration. And it was getting frustrating trying to figure out how I was going to do Piglet's house, because Piglet's house is in a large tree. It is just pretty much a tree trunk with a house inside of it. So I was trying to figure out how I was going to do it, because there is another level. He has like a balcony jutting out of the top floor. So I was trying to figure out how exactly I was going to do that. And I may figure that out better later. I know tomorrow I plan on working on this video, or I plan on working on this build a little bit more. So hopefully I can figure out a better way to make this look. The way I ended up making it look, I'm not very happy about. As you can see, I sized up that tree and I realized it was just too big. It didn't look like The Sims. The tree was just way too big, and I don't want to say it didn't really look realistic, because obviously this is The Sims, and it is also the 100 Acre Wood. It's all supposed to be imaginary, but it didn't look good to me. So I ended up sizing that tree that I'm using right now back down, and then I just put some plants on top, and I don't like the way that looks. I really do not like the way it turned out. So I'm thinking I've got a couple of better ideas that I may do instead of what's up there right now, because this doesn't look like Piglet's house at all. except for the little balcony that sticks out that you'll see here in just a few minutes. I really appreciate you guys watching this video. If you have, obviously leave a like and subscribe. If you enjoyed it, that is. If you didn't, you know, let me know how I can improve. I'm always looking for improvement here. Obviously, there's not going to be any screenshots here at the end because I'm not finished with the build. But just know that I appreciate you guys watching, and I have really high hopes for this channel and for this, I guess, this will be a series, right? I'm sorry, I could not think of that word. I have really high hopes for this series because this build has been so far one of my favorites. And you will see some really cool things coming up here soon that I'm really excited about. Sorry. So I want to thank you guys once again, and I will see you guys soon.